the things that happens in the bigger countries, in the bigger countries of the world, those effects of litter, of the emissions, the gas emissions, and different things, and pollution, that affects us here in the Caribbean region. And I believe what is important, and the message that I've heard, especially coming out from the Oceans Conference and being on some of the other conferences and meetings, I believe what is important for us, Mr. Chair and panel and body, is the need for the Caribbean, the members of the OECS, the members of the Caribbean body, to understand the importance, just as I've heard reiterated so far this morning, the importance of us coming together and making a representation collectively. Because BVI, when you look at us, we are quote unquote small on the map. But when you look at what happens when a hurricane or when weather changes, it changes and it affects the entire Caribbean. So I believe what our approach needs to be as we get ready for COP27 is to understand the importance of us coming together, pooling the ideas and the concerns that we have throughout the Caribbean regions that affects us immediately. So I might have 1 to 10 different things that I want to address. But on the larger scales, if we have common denominators in terms of this is how it affects us across the region, I believe those are things in terms of priority areas that, as we go to COP27 and make representation together with what we've heard from Argentina and some of the other countries and territories throughout the world, I believe then we are able to pool the resources, pool the knowledge, pool and understand the importance of, yes, what we do and what is affecting us. We need help and we need assistance, but some of the larger countries have already moved towards ways in implementing legislation and understanding the importance. So recently, about a week ago, we reestablished our Climate Change Trust Fund Board here in the British Virgin Islands. I led that trust because the board was dismantled. And in the Caribbean region, I think back in 2012, the BVI had took the lead in establishing the Climate Change Trust Fund to help to deal with the effects of climate change and put programs in place as we continue to fight this, which is now normal. But I believe overall throughout the Caribbean region, if you ask me, Mr. Chair, I believe the Caribbean region needs a lot more from an educational standpoint to help them understand that this is real. Why is it hot? Why is it as hot as it's been in the Caribbean? Why is when it's raining, it's raining a lot more? How are these things affecting us? And it is only going to get, based on the studies and the numbers that are shown up to 2030 and 2052, it is only going to get worse. So we have to do all that is necessary to not just pool our resources and our ideas, but also glean from the bigger countries and glean from the professionals around the world who have taken steps to address it, that we can implement here in the BVI in the Caribbean region, that we are now working in tandem with the rest of the world. So I want to again thank you on behalf of the government of the British Virgin Islands, and I look forward to continuing this discussion and hearing how we can work together.
Thank you, Mr. Mitch Turnbull. I think you brought up some very important points. And now we have a special moment because we have a Caribbean as the executive secretary of the Climate Change Conference, Mr. Simon Steele. So I think not only at the COP itself, but on all issues for the next year on climate change, I think we're going to have a greater space for the Caribbean and for Latin America on the perspectives of how the conference will be dealing with the issues like you mentioned. And now I'm very glad to give the floor to Ms. Mercelina, the Member of Parliament from Curaçao. And so, Mrs. Mercelina, you have the floor now. Thank you. Oh, Mr. Okay. Sorry. Muchísimas gracias, Mr. Mercelina. Sorry for not identifying you correctly, but gracias por su depoimento, porque creio que é um dos resultados que já tenemos del observatorio, extraer informaciones y un poco de apoyo a ustedes en los varios parlamentos, y saberem que não estamos deixando os representantes para trás, ok? Então, é pouco, esse é o objetivo de nosso observatório. Ok,